1945. Byron Nelson wins 18 tournaments in a calendar year to set an all-time PGA Tour record, including a record 11 in a row and a record 19 consecutive rounds under 70. His total prize earnings during his 11-win streak, $30,000, is less than last-place money for the PGA Tour Championship by 1992. The Tam O'Shanter Open offers a then-record purse of $60,000. 1946, Sam Snead travels to St. Andrews to compete in the first post-war British Open and is victorious, winning by 4 shots from Johnny Bulla and Bobby Locke. Lloyd Mangrum wins the U.S. Open in a second playoff after 3 players, Mangrum, Byron Nelson, and Vic Gezi, all tie with 72 in the first playoff. The U.S. Women's Open is instituted. Patty Berg is the first winner. 1947. Mildred Babe Zaharias becomes the first American to win the British Ladies Amateur at Goulaine. Golf is televised for the first time in a local St. Louis telecast of the U.S. Open. Lou Worsham wins a playoff for the U.S. Open against Sam Snead. The playoff ends in controversy as Worsham asks officials to measure which ball is closest to the hole, just as Snead is about to putt. The measure proves Snead is to putt first, but he misses, and Worsham holds his putt for victory. Amateur Frank Stranahan finishes runner-up at both the U.S. Masters, 2 shots behind Jimmy Demaret, and the British Open, a shot behind Fred Daly. Leading amateur players would continue to make occasional forays onto the leaderboards of major championships, excepting the PGA for obvious reasons, until the early 1960s, since when it has become extremely rare for an amateur to finish in the top 10. Jim Ferrier becomes the first Australian to win a major championship when he defeats Chick Harbert 2-1 in the final of the PGA Championship. Golf World magazine is founded. 1948, Henry Cotton wins his 3rd British Open at the age of 41. Ben Hogan wins 11 tournaments during the season, including both the U.S. Open and PGA Championships. Club professional Claude Harmon, invited after finishing 20th in the previous year's U.S. Open, wins the Masters Championship. Bobby Locke sets a PGA Tour record with a 16-stroke winning margin in the Chicago Victory National Championship. Herbert Warren Wine's authoritative The Story of American Golf is published. The U.S. Junior Amateur is instituted. Ken Venturi loses to Dean Lind in the first final. The USGA Golf Journal is founded. 1949. In February, Ben Hogan is involved in a terrible car accident that nearly kills him and leaves him unable to walk, let alone play golf, for the whole season. In his absence, Sam Snead enjoys his finest season, winning the Masters, the PGA Championship, and finishing 2nd at the U.S. Open to Kerry Middlecoff. Bobby Locke becomes the first South African to win the British Open. Louise Suggs wins the U.S. Women's Open by a record margin of 14 strokes. Marie Roque of Wollaston, Massachusetts, aces a 393-yard, 359 Naomi hole, the longest ace ever recorded by a woman. The U.S. side defeat Great Britain and Ireland 7-5 to win the Ryder Cup at Ganton in Yorkshire. The following week, the team stay in England to accept invites to the News of the World match play. Here, however, they are unable to take the trophy, for although Lloyd Mangrum reaches the semi-final, the eventual winner is Welshman Di Rees. 1950s, 1950. The LPGA is founded, replacing the ailing Women's Professional Golf Association. Ben Hogan, only weeks after returning to the PGA Tour following a near-fatal auto accident, wins the U.S. Open at Merion. 1951. Francis Ouimet becomes the first American captain of the Royal and Ancient Golf Club of St. Andrews. The USGA and the R&A, in a conference, complete a newly revised rules of golf. Although in 1951 the R&A and the USGA continue to differ over the size of the golf ball, all other conflicts are resolved in this momentous conference. The center-shafted putter is legalized worldwide. The out-of-bounds penalty is standardized at stroke and distance, and the stymie is finally and forever abolished. Golf Digest is founded, with Bill Davis as editor. On February 10th, Al Broche became the first PGA player to shoot a round of 11 under par. Broche set the record in the third round of the Texas Open at Brackenridge Park Golf Course in San Antonio, Texas. Despite competing in only 5 events in a playing schedule severely curtailed following his car crash, Ben Hogan finishes 4th on the U.S. Tour money list. From his 5 starts, Hogan wins the Masters, the U.S. Open, and the World Championship of Golf. He finishes 2nd and 4th in his other 2 events, the Seminole Pro-Am and the Colonial Invitational, 1952. Marlene Haga wins the Sarasota Open when she is 18 years 14 days old, an LPGA record. Patty Berg shoots an LPGA record of 64 for an 18-hole round. The National Hole-in-One Clearinghouse is established by Golf Digest. 1953. Tommy Armour's How to Play Your Best Golf All the Time is published. 1945. Byron Nelson wins 18 tournaments in a calendar year to set an all-time PGA Tour record, including a record 11 in a row and a record 19 consecutive rounds under 70. His total prize earnings during his 11-win streak, $30,000.